Howdy folks, my name's Darren from RC Scale Models, and today I'm back with you with another build. Today we're going to be building this German railway gondola, high-sided, 1/35 scale from Trumpeter. Back in a few videos ago, or even a couple of years back, I did mention I was building a massive diorama with the German railway system from the war. I want to kind of make my own mini diorama with different stuff. I've built several parts of it already. Some of the videos are already up there if you want to go back and watch them. So this is going to be another part. I'm going to do two of these gondolas at the same time, but the video you're going to be watching is only going to be one of them. So let's do this. Okay folks, first we're going to start off with the tracks. I've snipped this off the sprue. I'm not going to use the actual base of it, but I will use the tracks. I'm going to use this as a base, so when I build it on, it's sturdy. And these are obviously the rails. You get different thicknesses, so top and bottom. There is a seam line that runs across the top here. There's several ways you can do it. You can sand it out, or what I like to do is scrape clean it. You get these Trumpeter scrapers, so be careful if you do have these, they're highly sharp. Once that's done, work out which is the top and bottom, and then it's just a case of running the track, or the rail part even, straight through. It fits really well. And then if you want to do extensions, they just clip in here and here. These cutouts are designed for a bend if you wish to do so. So I'm going to continue cleaning this up and then get the track ready. I'm not going to paint this just yet, this will be later on. Okay folks, these sections here make up the suspension for the gondola. These parts here and these pins need to go through, and they're slightly too small, so just get your X-Acto knife, poke it in the hole, make the hole a little bit bigger. Job's a good one, it's not a problem. Just one other thing, I'm going to make this off camera because it's quite fiddly and I need to get in close, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay folks, this is all fitted now. It is a little bit fiddly, like I say, I did it off camera. You want to make sure this centrepiece is lined up with this part. Make sure these two are on each side. You can easily get these backwards, which I did first off, until I realised it's the wrong way round. So just put it into place. It doesn't actually work. You just glue the points. So there's 3 more of these, and then move on to the next step. Okay folks, I've previously done the brakes, but a slight, not an issue, but a little tip to line them up properly so you don't get no problems. Put a little bit of dab of glue. I recommend something like extra thin, because it doesn't set straight away. You can't mess these up because they're keyed, so you got one is the left and one is the right. Pop them in, just get them in quickly as possible, doesn't really matter. Once they're in, just try and line them up and get them so they're not wonky or anything. Get your wheel put your wheel into the socket and basically line it down, close the brakes so they're almost touching the wheel, pop the wheel out just to check these are still in place. Try not to move them, just check again a couple of times. This one's slightly out of place, push this in. Once I'm happy with the brake, whether they're close enough, twist the wheel around just to make sure I'm happy with that. And now quickly have a look, eyeball it, it's pretty straight, looks good to me. Let that set and then do another one, and the brake should be close enough. Okay folks, next step is the one half, the upper deck. Has a nice wood grain effect to it. It's pretty good, I think. You can also, don't have to use this, obviously if you wanted to make your own wood panels you can do that, but it's a little bit more work. Obviously you just use this piece and then plank it yourself, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to use the kit parts. These pins are larger than these pins, so you can't really mess it up. A couple of holes you have to extra drill out for some extra parts for some reason. You get two locating ways. I thought it goes this way because I thought you would want to see the structural framing, but it actually turns out it goes this way around. Just like that basically. So we're going to glue this into place, put some pressure on it, maybe a little bit of weight, and hopefully it glues into place. We're going to use contact adhesives because this is slow drying. Run the pins all the way along these struts because these are contacted. Not so much on the outside because I don't want it to squirt out. We'll use extra thin for that. So line it up, hit a click, put some pressure on it. Okay folks, I just want to talk about this quickly. I'm not having an issue, but I think this might be a little bit easier because I don't want the chassis to warp and get out of shape. So they want you to build the sides as normal, which we've already done, and then they want you to attach the wheels and then these bars, and then put the front and rear on, and then put the deck on top of that. But what I'm going to do is put the deck down and then build this up on top of the deck, and then keep it so it keeps it all flat. Hopefully it keeps it all level because I don't want it to be wobbly. So what I mean by that is, here are the two deck parts, flip them over like they should be, make sure they're the right way round. We see all these holes, they correspond to the inside rails, so we're just going to line them up like so, which makes it nice and stiff. So I think doing it this way, hopefully it's not going to cause any warpage. Okay folks, it's the completed model before painting. It goes together pretty well. You just have to watch out for a few minor issues, like if you don't line up the chassis completely correctly, you can get some warpage, and I explained how roughly I did it in the video, and it seems to work out okay. It doesn't wobble, it runs nicely, it's smooth, suspensions come out okay. I showed you roughly how to do the hooks at the end if you want to do a diorama. I've depicted the doors open because I want to put a ramp and some German soldiers loading up some barrels and stuff, so that's the reason why mine's open. If you want them closed, you just close them up and have the door like this on this side. In the instructions, they have you having the handle facing downwards. That means the door's unlocked. You can do that, but I've depicted that the handle's locked, so the door's shut. But yeah, it goes together pretty well. I haven't glued this top down because I need to paint the deck and stuff like that, so we can get to that later. Okay, we're in the spray booth. We're going to spray it with Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. I've done it about 50-50 mix, give or take. That's what I use, so we'll see how we get on. Okay, we're going to start on the actual wood decking. I'm going to use AK Posca, no, not AK Posca pen, get it right, AK's acrylic markers, their new range. I'm going to use this on some of the boards. I'm going to mask them off, and then I'm going to use several wood colours. So we've got Tamiya wood deck number FX78, and then we've got Tamiya's 59, which is dark yellow. We're going to use another dark yellow 88, and then we're going to use another dark yellow number 60. So we do different coloured boards, and then once that's dry, I like to go over with Tamiya panel line washes, blend these types of mixtures together, and once it's dry, give it a clear coat. It looks something like this, and I've added a little bit of paint because I want to do the side of the gondola with field grey, and that's what this is around the edges. So once this is done, the centre of the gondola will be worn down to wood, but around the edges where it doesn't get worn so much, it'll be painted with the field grey. And obviously the sides, which are masked up already, these wood panels will be field grey as well, so it gives it a different contrast to the actual gondola itself, which was done in German grey. So it gives it a different type of grey colour, so it's not all boring. So I've had a little bit of a play with these, but not overly much. So basically it's just kind of drawing them on. I wouldn't worry about it being too much or too messy, because you can always neaten it up when it comes to masking them off. Okay folks, now you see I've done the wood deck. We're going to let that dry, but I've noticed, you see along the leading edge, because I didn't mask it, I've got a little bit of overspray. But I've come across, because I've got these AK pens, these are perfect for small touch-ups and stuff. And because I had overspray on the other side, I've already done this side. I've still got a tiny bit there to do, but the basics is, because it's the same colour and it's very close to the Trumpeter, it's just basically run the pen all over the overspray parts and just clean up any overspray that I had from it. There's multiple ways you could use these pens, and I'm still learning, but this is a little tip. Also, now I've used the touch-up pen, the German grey, I'm going to use the dark aluminium for the metal part. So the front of these bumpers are going to be the dark aluminium around them, and also we can use them, excuse me for a sec, turn the compressor off. As I was saying, we can use the dark aluminium pen for around the actual contact part of the wheels, plus we can use it for the upper part of the track. So you can use these for chipping, detailing. Again, it's endless. Okay folks, now we've done the wood deck in different shades of browns and sands and that kind of thing. Now we're going to use Trumpeter panel lines to bring out all the wood grain. I'm going to use dark brown, normal brown, slight hint of dark grey, and in this case of just blending them all together, and it brings out the wood texture. So it's just a case of just not slapping it all over and being aggressive and just messy. You just case of just putting it on. It will stain the wood, so just a case of working it in. So that's a bit of brown, say for instance dark brown, Just put a bit of normal brown, which will be a little bit lighter. Just put it up here. Just blend it in a little bit. And for instance, if you wanted to put a bit of grey in there, I find grey is a bit too much. If you do get too much, then just get a cotton swab, soak up some of the excess. As I say, I find the grey gives it that older appearance, because if you look at wood that's old, it tends to have a grey appearance. So I'm going to go over the whole entire board. Once it's done, I'll show you what it kind of looks like. So it's just a case of working your way down. Obviously, different shades of wood that we've got, it brings out the different colours and stuff. That's my plan. Okay folks, now it's all complete. We've done all the different shades and stuff. It's slowly drying. You can see in certain parts it's still slightly wet, but once this is dry, I can clear coat it and seal this all in. I'll probably end up using Tamir's TS80, I think it is, if I remember correctly. Seal that in completely. As I say, we have sprayed these parts as well. Well, I'll probably dry brush these with a little bit of like a one of these sandy colours, just to bring out a little bit of a wood. I'm not sure about if how well I'm gonna dirty that up quite yet, but I know for the metal parts we will make them streaky, rusty, not overly rusty, but a hint of grime and dirt and stuff. I'm going to use Florey's washes as well, but I'm going to spray it through the airbrush, which I've done in the past for dirt. And when you do that, I've done on a tractor, I find on railway vehicles it has that hint of dust. That's probably from like the brakes and stuff, so we're dusty up the dirt, the bottom of it as well. I will show you how I do that. Okay, I'm going to use wood deck from Tamir. I've got this dry brush from AK. It's basically a brush that makeup women use for makeup. It's pretty much the same as that. So you dab your paint in it, take the excess off. Once you've got hardly any paint on there, it's a case of just going over your wood part like so. You can do as much as little as you want of how much chipping you want. I've already gone overhead and done all of this one. You can see I want more chipping on the inside, because obviously that's where cargo and stuff has gone up against. Okay folks, we're going to apply some decals. I'm going to use Tamir Mark Fit Strong. You apply this down over your surface where you want your decal, so the decal is going to go roughly here. So we apply the solution, get your decal in your warm water as normal, get your decal, carefully apply it over the area, carefully line it up. Right, once after I managed to get the decal into place where I want it, get your cotton swab, take any air bubbles out, roll it. Once you're happy with it and you've got it all nice and straight, it's as straight as I can get it without it moving too much. And then we can apply a top coat of solution. This will eat into the decal and give it that painted appearance. And you just do this several times. I like to give it 4 or 5 coats at least. Let it dry, apply, dry, apply, and then once it's all sealed in, clear coat it, the model again, and then you can move on to the second steps of weathering and stuff. Okay folks, we've been experimenting a little bit on the vehicle, and I want to do some rust streaking and just rust in general over the gondola. So what you see here is how I'm going to pretty much leave it. I will do chipping on top of this, and I will do dirt grime and stuff, but for chipping, as for rust effect, like surface rust, if you want to will, this is how I'm going to get it. To do this, we're going to use Floyd's rust wash. So if you've used their washes in the past, it's the same technique as you do your aircraft. You slather it over the area. I like to put mine on the table and then use a clean brush. Don't dip your brush inside the pot, because just in case you've used a manky brush and you contaminate the Floyd wash. So it's a case of just loading said area, which will be all the metal parts. Just put it all over. Try not to get it over the wood so much. And then down here, across here, and then all over the running gear, or not the running gear, but the lower bogie section. And then once this is dry, you can start to use cotton swabs, and you start to rub it away. And then once you're happy with the technique and how much you've taken off, you can do as much as little as you want. This is, as I say, I just want surface rust. Okay, another thing I want to mention, if I forgot to mention it, when you're doing the Floyd washes and you get the excess wash off, you use warm water, and it gets it off really easy. If you want to get a subtle amount off, cold water, the more you scrub at it, the more it comes off. But make sure everything's sealed down and clear coated before you even attempt this, because it can affect your paint. So you've got to make sure your layers are protected. So another thing is I want to do now is see all these symbols and signs and stuff all over the gondola. They're quite bright and clean. I want to chip them up and just blend them in a little bit, so you go back to your original colour of what your wood is. Focus is the field grey. We do this and we chip over it, normal chipping, just to break them up a little bit. So just get your normal colour. As I say, you just get a sponge. If you've done chipping in the past, obviously you just get it on there on a paper towel, get the excess off, and then chip away. So I want to test it over this part here. Again, you can do as much as little as you want of how much of the signage you want chipped away. It may look bright, again, because this has been clear coated, it's not its natural paint colour. So when I clear coat it, everything will blend in. Something like that. Also, I've decided to do Floyd's grime wash as well, which I've done the same as the rust, but this time I've just applied it over the whole tyre vehicle. And we're going to let this dry, and we can rub it back. And when you see here it's starting to dry, it gives you all that dusty effect as well. I may put it over the around the corners of the bed to make the wood dirty, but we shall see. And then once this is done, we can do the dust effect that you see on some of the vehicles, and I'm pretty much going to leave it as is. I don't want to do too much weathering because I don't know how actually how to do this, so I'm just kind of winging it basically. And then obviously I can weather it as I go for the diorama of what the ground can look like. As I say I've never done this, so this is how I've done it. Feel free in the comments how trains generally weathered. I've looked at pictures and kind of get a rough idea what I'm looking at. I can see there's grime and I can see there's streaks and I can see there's dust, so I'm not sure. Now I've got the brush. Now I'm just slightly blending everything in as it slowly dries, going down towards the bottom. So if it was like rain streaks or whatever, it's going to go downwards. Don't go crossways, because the weathering doesn't generally look that way. It generally streaks down the vehicle. So I've gone around the whole of the vehicle and you can start to see it's dusty and grimy and it looks streaky in parts. I'm happy with how this looks. Okay folks, it's pretty much finished now. This is loosely based on what the diorama is going to be like. I'm going to have the 2 soldiers trying to push up a barrel, which is 200 litres. You've got another German soldier up the top with the rope pulling it, and the officer doing the count. We have some stowage in the gondola. So this is roughly what it's going to look like. The figures are I've got to paint them up and get them ready. So this is a rough idea. So tell me what you think in the comments down below. Is it even possible to lift up a 200 litre barrel with 3 blokes? I'd say I don't know. Is that even possible? Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.